Hi. One of the things I really like about the way we run these videos is that I love getting your input, what you want to see, and then giving it to you. So today I am going to do something a little bit out of order what I planned, but it was by request from my students, so I couldn't very well say no to it. I thought it was a very good idea, as a matter of fact. The reason it's a good idea is because some people are taking these online lessons gearing up towards playing bass and tenor drum, which is awesome because the very first chapter is all rhythms, and rhythms are universal no matter what instrument you want to play, whether it's snare drum, bass drum, tenor drum, bagpipes, trumpet, piano, flute, I don't care. Tin whistle, rhythms are rhythms, and you can get something out of them. However, I demonstrate them on a snare drum practice pad with snare drum technique. So I want to show you some tenor drum stuff so that you can use this technique and this type of stuff to practice those same rhythms on. Alright, so first thing you have to learn is how to hold a tenor drum mallet. I have some pretty typical mallets that are used pretty universally right here, but they come like this. There's no string on them, and we all know that tenor drummers love to flourish. That's one of the beautiful things about the art of tenor drumming, but we have to attach a string to it in order to intertwine our fingers so that we can do the visuals. So I have here a finished product. This is what's going to look like when we're done, but we're going to take you through what you need to do for this. And everybody's going to be slightly different just because you have different sized hands, and it just makes sense. And there's a lot of trial and error that goes into it. And also, the way I'm going to show you is a way I know works. I know other people do things slightly different, and it works for them, which is brilliant. So right off the bat, I'm going to say, if you see something else from somebody else, don't go, hey, but Ed said, it's okay. There's lots of ways to do it correctly. Rather than giving you a list of every single one of them, I'm just going to show you one way that I know works to avoid confusion at this point. Okay? So, I'm going to take just a shoestring, and I prefer using the round ones, not the flat ones, because when you use the flat ones, they end up against your fingers, and the skinny part, if it points in toward your fingers, it can cut and hurt you. So I try to use the round ones so it's even all the way around, so there's less chance of hurting your fingers. What you have to kind of do, first off, is tie it onto the mallet. See, there's a little ball down here. It's used for lots of things. One of the things it's used for is to hold the string on. So just use a typical knot. You loop it like this so that the two ends are there. Loops down here. Now what we're going to do is just wrap it around the mallet, put these two ends through the loop, and pull it tight, forming a knot that looks like this. And some of you out there are Boy Scouts and know exactly what kind of knot it is. Feel free to shoot me a note and let me know. I always forget that. But the point is, that's how you put it on there. Very easy to put on. It holds tight, but it's also easy to get off. So you just pull it really tight and push it all the way down to where the ball is, and it's not going to go anywhere. Okay? So the next thing you have to do is we're going to tie a very loose single knot at the top here. Okay, and you want to make it very loose because we're going to do a lot of moving. See how I'm doing that? And just start lightly moving it down. And I'm going to stop right about there because I know about the size of my hand. You guys might have bigger hands, you might have smaller hands. And so to keep it in place, I'm just going to tie another one. So it's going to end up being a very, very loose double knot that I can pull out at any time. And I will. Okay, so then I'm going to check how I put it on my fingers, and I'll show you how to do it on this one. But I intertwine it with my fingers and make sure it's the right size. And if it's not the right size, I can make it smaller. Or if it's not the right size, I can make it bigger until we're at the right spot. And there's a lot of trial and error that goes along with this. Lots of trial and error that goes along with this. So remember that. We'll come back to this mallet in a moment. This one I did earlier. So it's all completed. So this is the way we put it into our fingers. So this is the part you want to pay attention to. So just take your hand, stick it straight out like this. Now I actually want you to open up your fingers between your pinky and your ring finger. Open them up. Put a separation there. You're going to hold this and dangle it like that and put the entire both strings in between your ring finger and your pinky finger. Everybody see that? Now I'm going to clamp it shut, and now take this loop and loop it around both the pinky finger and the ring finger at the same time. See that? On both fingers. So it looks like that on this end, and that on this end. Let me do that one more time for you. This is probably the most confusing part of it. Open up your pinky and your ring finger. Slide both strings in between, clamp it, and then loop up over top of both fingers. Looks like this on this side. On this side looks like that. Put it all the way down and pull it tight. We're almost done. Now, there's a spot again over here between your index finger and your middle finger. Just let the strings come back behind, in between here. So now the strings are coming between the mallet. If you point forward, you can see me making scissors here. The string is in between these two fingers. Now one more step, just let it dangle down next to my index finger. So it looks like that. And that's about the right size of it. If you hang down too much further, you need to shorten the string up. If it's up too tight in here, you need to lengthen the string. And that's what I was doing over here. So within the parameters I gave you, you have to test to see if it's big enough or small enough. So this is the one I can move around a bit, right? So I put it on, just do it quickly to show you. I put it through here, and you can see the way it's set, it's too long. So for this one, I have to shorten it, which means tightening this double knot just a bit more, with just a little bit of fumbling around. I told you this is the not so precise scientific way of doing it, but it very well works. You just have to put your hand in it a few times until it's at the right spot. Still just a little bit too long, but I'm getting very close. Just a little bit too long. So again, I fumble around with the very loose double knot here until it's a little bit shorter. And I try it again. I know there's all sorts of awkward strings here. We'll take care of those in a minute. And go back around again. And that is just about right. That's just about right. So, now that we're happy with that, make sure you pinch the knot as you take it off so it doesn't move, and then pull it tight at this point. Make sure this knot does not move. Okay? And before we commit to it any further, test one more time to be sure you didn't accidentally move it. I've done that before and accidentally moved it and made it a bit better, which is kind of cool, but I have to still check it. See, it's still at the right spot. We're still good. Now we're going to commit. Because up until now, we could change this, we could loosen this up, but we made it nice and tight, so it's not going to go anywhere. Now I'm going to take the scissors here and cut off the extra strings. Now the problem we have with shoelaces is that they fray, right? So there's a fraying here. So this is the fun part that a lot of people really like. Take some matches or a lighter or whatever you have, and you burn the end. I'm actually going to burn it for you right here now. So all you have to do is very lightly touch it, and it melts, and it will no longer fray, and it won't come undone. Just takes a couple seconds, and that's it. Now we have smoke in the room, but that's okay. Let's make sure that doesn't burn anything. So now we have two mallets all set up properly. So you put one on this hand, then you have to do the same thing on this hand. And you're all set to go. Now, you want to play the drums, so you have to actually hold it. So you're here, and what you do is you grab the little ball with the pinky, not the pinky, I'm sorry, the index finger and the thumb. You grab it like this, turn your hands over this way. So now, how my arms are going straight out here and here. Now keep your hands nice and relaxed. I see some people do it that pinkies go out like this. This makes a lot of tension and makes it very difficult to play. So keep your fingers in relaxed. Keep your fingers in nice and relaxed. And when you go to play, all you have to do is lift your wrist up to strike the drum. Lift your wrist up to strike the drum. And on the tenor drum, there's a bit of rebound, so it's okay if it comes up every time you play. So this is how you would play all the rhythms that we're doing in Chapter 1. Okay, one more review and then I'll let you go for this lesson. So make sure it's firm on here. Stick your pinky out and your ring finger. Put the string in between, both strings in between. Clamp them shut. Put the loop over top of both fingers, both the ring finger and the pinky finger. Take the mallet back behind and go in between the middle finger and the index finger, right here. So then you just stick your palm up, let the mallet dangle down. See where it's located? That is right. So then you go to play, it's right there for your index finger and your thumb to grab, and you turn it over here, and you're all ready to play. This is how we hold it when we're playing the rhythms. Same on both hands. Now this is important. Do it while you're still holding this one because you have to get used to doing one or the other while you're holding the mallet in the strings. In between the ring finger and pinky finger, both strings, wrap around a loop of both fingers. Bring the string back behind, go in between the middle finger and the index finger, where you can scissor them, right? And then you can take the index finger and the thumb, pinch it, turn it over. And you're ready to play.